They've been haunting our dreams, both literally and figuratively, for nearly 40 years. But which one is the true nightmare?
Springwood Slasher. That's what they called me.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and in this installment of Versus, we're pitting two of the horror genre's biggest names against each other, Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. They've clashed in comics and on the big screen, but which is the real king of terror?
Jason. My special boy. Do you know what your gift is? No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die.
Round 1. Backstory and motivation. Freddy Krueger's backstory is a bit of a doozy. The child of a nun who was accidentally locked inside an asylum for the criminally insane, the son of 100 maniacs grew up to become a sadistic serial killer who preyed on the children of Springwood.
That girl was Amanda Krueger. Her child,
Freddy.
the bastard son of 100 maniacs.
After getting off the hook on a technicality, Krueger was hunted down by a mob of angry parents and burned alive. On the brink of death, Freddy made a deal with demonic entities, who allowed him to return as a terrifying boogeyman in nightmares. Freddy began using his newfound powers to take revenge on the children of his killers, reveling in his love of carnage and terror.
Took gasoline. We poured it all around the place and made a trail of it out the door. Then lit the whole thing up and watched it burn.
Jason Voorhees' backstory is a shade more tragic. Born deformed, young Jason was cared for by his mother Pamela Voorhees, the cook at the idyllic Camp Crystal Lake.
Jason should have been watched every minute. He wasn't a very good swimmer.
He drowned, however, or at least seemed to have drowned, when neglectful teenage counselors abandoned their babysitting duties to have sex. Enraged, Pamela killed the counselors, and anyone else who came to the camp, until a would-be victim fought back. With his dear old mama beheaded, Jason reemerged still alive to take revenge. Eventually donning a hockey mask, he went on a killing spree before taking a machete to the face. Years later, a bolt of lightning to the heart resurrected him as a seemingly unkillable monster. This first round is a close one, but Freddy's epic origin story wins out by a hair. We just can't say no to an origin that messed up. Winner, Freddy.
You want to know the secret of pain? If you just stop feeling it, you can start using it.
Round 2, powers. Within the realm of dreams, Freddy's powers are basically whatever his twisted mind can come up with. He can shapeshift, change the environment, is impervious to physical harm, and can summon objects at will. As with any nightmare, there's no telling what he'll do next. Worst of all, what he does to his victims in the dream world becomes real in the waking world. He's also able to manipulate objects in the real world, and even take over human victims to act as vessels for his twisted will. While he can be dragged into the real world where his powers are much more limited, he can still put up a fight outside of his home turf. While his opponent is all about cruelty and trickery, our boy Jason is brute strength and determination personified. Resourceful, with titanic strength, and the ability to shrug off damage that would leave most people 6 feet under. He's basically unstoppable. This became doubly true after his resurrection, which turned his rotting body into a virtual undead tank. He's strong enough to knock the heads off his victims' shoulders with one swing of his meaty fists, and sturdy enough to survive just about anything. Even if you can destroy his body, his displaced soul can possess others, ensuring that not even death can stop him. While we can't help but be impressed with Jason's relentless determination, blood-soaked though it may be, the sheer variety of tools at Freddy's disposal when he's in the dream world makes him a shoo-in for round 2. He's like Bugs Bunny, only more murdery. Round 2 goes to Freddy. Winner, Freddy. Round 3, weapons. Though Freddy has sometimes spiced it up, his most faithful weapon is without a doubt his iconic glove. A sturdy-looking leather gauntlet with razor-sharp metal claws affixed to the fingertips. This fearsome fashion accessory has helped Freddy dispatch countless victims in a variety of gruesome manners. It can make precise, exacting cuts, or be plunged into a victim's body for a quick, messy finish. Just like Freddy himself, it's versatile, sinister, and oh so creepy.
I need you, Jesse. We got special work to do here, you and me.
Thanks to his ability to manipulate nightmares. In good old-fashioned practice, it's a weapon that seldom fails to hit its target.
Might be your dream, but it's my rules.
While Jason definitely has an iconic weapon of his own, he mixes things up a bit more than his competition.
Still out there?
Jason has dispatched unwitting victims with ice picks, claw hammers, spears, and of course, his bare hands. But at the end of the day, his truest weapon is a simple machete. The brutal and effective blade is sturdy and sharp enough to cut right through his victims, especially when propelled by his superhuman strength. He's used it to remove limbs and heads, to say nothing of numerous stabbings and impalings. It's simple, reliable, and always gets the job done just like Jason himself. Sounds like a match made in hell.
You want your machete back? Shit, it's yours, take it!
Freddy's glove may give us the heebie-jeebies, but we're actually gonna give this round to Jason for his willingness to experiment with other weapons, coupled with the sheer brutality of his primary weapon. After all, sometimes the simplest tools are the most effective. Winner, Jason.
When I find you, you bastard, you a dead man! Shit!
Round 4, kills. Given his power set, Freddy's history is a veritable smorgasbord of creative kills, to the point that if we listed all the best ones, we'd be here all day. Freddy is a bona fide artist when it comes to dispatching his victims, and even the worst Elm Street movies can boast some great death scenes. Some of our favorites include the time he turned a babyface Johnny Depp into a blood geyser in the first film, or the time he turned a guy into a marionette using his own tendons as strings. Ouch. Or how about the time he took over a motorcycle and forced its components into the body of its rider? We could go on and on. But Jason is no slouch either. Without any fancy dream powers, he's managed some of the most brutal kills in slasher movie history. Putting aside the litany of decapitations and dismemberments at the blade of his deadly machete, he's impaled his victims on spears to create human shish kebabs and crushed more than a few skulls with his bare hands. He's bent a victim in half in some seriously extreme chiropractics, and who could forget the time Jason forced a woman's head into a tub of liquid nitrogen, freezing it solid and smashing it on a nearby table. Now that's just awesome. And terrible, but also awesome. Freddy may have variety on his side, but here's out here. Jason, super zombie or not, is ultimately just a really strong dude with a machete and whatever else he can find. Anyone can deliver top-notch kills when you have absolute control over your reality, but with just a can-do attitude and brute force, Jason has delivered terrific kills. Now that's commitment. Winner, Jason.
Read my lips. Leave me alone!
Round 5, scares. Since first appearing on screen in 1984, Freddy Krueger has become an icon of horror. Both magnetic and creepy, captivating and terrifying, he is a cinematic boogeyman in the truest sense of the word. While he became less creepy and more comedic as time went on, his early appearances still send shivers down our spines.
This is just a dream. He isn't real. He isn't real.
even when he's lurking off-screen. His presence as a looming, unseen evil helped put his franchise on the map. And then there are the more direct scares, like his glove rising from the heroine's bathwater, or his face and body emerging as a shape above her bed. Yep, we haven't slept since that scene either. Jason, meanwhile, is a bit more direct. He doesn't have Freddy's flair for the theatrical, preferring to pop up behind his victims to dispatch them before they even know what's what. That on its own is pretty scary, but there's also the fact that Jason is virtually unstoppable when he sets his sights on a target. If Jason decides he wants to paint his machete with your blood, it doesn't matter how fast or how far you run. He's gonna get you in the end. We don't know about you, but the idea of being pursued at a slow but steady pace by a silent, brutal murderer that won't quit sets us properly on edge. In the end though, this one has to go to Freddy. Jason's relentless pursuit is definitely freaky, but knowing that Freddy can pop up at any time in any form, well, that's nightmare fuel to say the least. This final round and the title go to Mr. Krueger, whose versatility, charisma, and sheer creepiness give him an edge over the competition. Winner, Freddy.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.